Grit and Red Dirt Country. Welcome aboard. We got some great music up ahead. Brought to you weekly by the following sponsors: Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, Chickasha, Oklahoma, CSMlocal. Visit them today at CSM.com and also get social with CSMlocal on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Welcoming aboard now onto the True Grit and Red Dirt Country train, we got Viridian Coffee Company, 3 locations in Southwest Oklahoma to serve you. They are Chickasha, Duncan, and Lawton. Thank you very much, Jackson Hewitt Tax Services. We got some great locations all throughout Highway 62 and I-44 to serve you. Wichita Falls, Duncan, Chickasha, Lawton, and 2 right here in Altus. Also, Custom Graphics. Thank you very much for your continued sponsorship and partnership. Merrill and Lauren Aarons, they can take care of anything for your sports teams to your nonprofits, even the Altus Air Force Base A-Team. Great stuff right there. And we got a great show heading your way. And I'm so happy that my buddy Selby Smith is going to be joining us. He is with the Indian Territory Regulators. Going to be having that interview here pretty quick. But we're going to kick things off with one of my favorite songs, man. And I'm telling you, it's fun. Let's just have a great opportunity to kick it one more time into high gear before we got to go back to work tomorrow. Here's the Texas Tornadoes with A Little Bit Is Better Than Nada. Welcome to True Grit and Red Dirt Country.
Moonlight hits the Rio Grande, and the judge Rica sun. She's one sweet Chiquita, my Latino Lolita. I knew right then she had to be the one. She worked at the cantina, so I ordered a tequila just to get a closer look into her eyes. Handed her my peso, she turned and walked away. I don't think she even realized. Oh, senorita, ooh, mas fina, come and love me, por favor. I wanna be your numero uno, your one and only vato. We love you long time, that's for sure. Wanna hold you and never let go. I'll be your little gringo, marry you and take you away. Oh, senorita, ooh, mas fina, why won't you love me, baby, porque? She never caught my lingo because I was a gringo. She didn't understand a word I'd say. She sang me no comprende, but that smile on her face told me I should try it anyway. Oh, senorita, ooh, mas fina, come and love me, por favor. I wanna be your numero uno, your one and only vato. We love you long time, that's for sure. Wanna hold you and never let go. I'll be your little gringo, marry you and take you away. Oh, senorita, ooh, mas fina, why won't you love me, baby, porque? Por favor, I wanna be your numero uno, your one and only vato. We love you long time, that's for sure. Wanna hold you and never let go. I'll be your little gringo, marry you and take you away. Oh, senorita, ooh, mas fina, why won't you love me, baby, porque? I said, oh, senorita, ooh, mas fina, why won't you love me, baby, porque?
This is True Grit and Red Dirt Country, brought to you week in and week out by the following sponsors: Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, 2812 South 4th Street, Chickasha, Oklahoma. CSMlocal. Visit them today at CSMlocal.com and get things from to-do to done today. Also, Custom Graphics, 521 North Main Street, Altus. Jackson Hewitt Tax Services. 2 locations in Altus to serve you, 2500 North Main and 1401 North Main Street, Suite 103. And we also have locations all the way through Highway 62 and the I-44 Turnpike in Lawton, Chickasha, Duncan, and Wichita Falls. And welcoming aboard Viridian Coffee Company with locations in Duncan, Chickasha, and Lawton. Viridian Coffee Company is fantastic. They have the Cowboy Brew, which is definitely one of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure when my buddy right here, Selby Smith, gets a hold of some of that Cowboy Brew, he's going to like it too. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for being on the show today. And I had your buddy John on here last week, but I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to talk to me about not only the Indian Territory regulators, but a lot of other cool factual information that the listeners will definitely want to know about, especially us country folks and folks down here that know about the life and the culture. So tell us a little bit, some background about how the Indian Territory regulators started and where it stemmed from. It's very cool information.
Well, originally it was a part of a group known as Colonel Colts that had been going for quite a few years before I joined. And I joined in 85 is when I started training. And then I worked at Frontier City on the weekend from 85 to 88. And then the Colonel Colts Company picked up the contract down at Turner Falls. We broke up the units, and those that could work during the week and everything, they were set at Frontier City. We had to make a sister unit, which was the Indian Territory Regulators. And we did Turner Falls. And I've been with them until the man who retired was named Jim Rollins. We called him Papu. And he'd been gunfighting since 1958 out at Frontier City. And he was a marshal out there for several years. And so we kind of faded out there. And then I gunfought with some other groups. And then I decided with a couple of my friends and everything else, we'd start our own group. So I went and got the name Indian Territory Regulators rights and everything, I guess you could say that, from Pappy, and I have been trying to do the style of gunfighting that I was taught.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and it really got into a lot of things. I mean, it took me into more than just gunfighting. I started Civil Warring and Mountain Men rendezvous, and I found out that I really enjoyed a lot of the history behind these things by doing them that you could sit and read about but never really experience.
Yes, sir.
And, there was things that you read about this in, like, say, in history in high school, but you don't actually see the other things that went on. They could tell you about it, different style of living that they went through. And when you're doing these reenactments, you actually live the history. And I was not a very big history buff whenever I was in high school and everything. But since then, I have really kind of sunk myself in history, and I still learn things to this day.
Wow, Selby, that is totally awesome, sir. And I appreciate your history enthusiasm, because I'm a history enthusiast too. And we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about more elements of the Indian Territory Regulators, as well as some Oklahoma history. You're listening to 98.7 The Red Dirt Rebel, and this is True Grit in Red Dirt Country. We'll be right back.
Wade Hayes in concert. Outdoors at Legends Event Park. Friday night, June 4th, Chickasha eats up with the one and only Wade Hayes. Plus, in the same night, Ricochet. You get it all for one ticket. Available at Ticket Store. Friday, June 4th, brought to you by Legends Pub House and Venue.
And we're back with True Grit and Red Dirt Country right here on the flagship station, 98.7 Red Dirt Rebel. Thank you very much, sponsors. Viridian Coffee, Legends Pub House and Venue, Billy Bob's Texas, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, CSMlocal, and Custom Graphics. Thank you very much, Lauren and Meryl Aarons, for your continued support. Selby, you are a reenactor, and tell us about how that life kind of changes you and puts you in a certain frame of thought. You got to kind of dive in, don't you?
My favorite part about it is talking to the people about history. And there's like the old mountain man saying, if I don't know about it, I'll make it up. And it's fun. I mean, because if you're doing a mountain man rendezvous, it's called doing a windy, telling a tall tale.
Okay.
But you'll be surprised that the experience was very, very real to me, because I'd sleep in a tent. I'd cook over an open fire. I'd wear the clothes from back then. And whenever you're doing that, you seem to fall back. And the more you fall back, the more you want to learn.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And being a reenactor is a lifestyle in its own. You look forward to doing things. And to me, it's very, very relaxing. It gets me away from the hard parts of my life and everything else, the stress of working, the stress of just about everyday life that people go through. Well, whenever you go to these rendezvous and everything else, all that's left behind. And then whenever you go back home, you're looking at everything at kind of like at a fresh start there, and you're just kind of, I can do that. And that's how I look at doing this kind of stuff. I've got 3 children who they grew up doing rendezvous and gunfighting. And, of course, now they're older and out of the house and have families of their own. And, you know, they don't participate as much as they used to. My oldest was in the Navy, so he kind of faded on that. And my middle son, he works quite a bit, and he enjoys his job. So, and he usually ends up having to work on the weekend. And my youngest right now, his biggest thing is he's trying to spend more time with his studies and everything because he wants to join the military.
Okay.
So,
well, you tell your boys, that especially one in the Navy, thank you for his service, and your youngest one for wanting to get in the service. Yes, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah, and being a reenactor, you have to kind of love that kind of life and enjoy it. And it's been a love of mine for a little over 34 years now. And if anybody wants to kind of see what we do as far as gunfighters, you can find us on Facebook. We have some of our shows posted there, and, you know, that gives you kind of an idea of what we do as gunfighters.
So Indian Territory Regulators on Facebook. Okay, cool. So write that down, folks. Go visit it right now and like that page. Good stuff there.
You know, and one of the things I've learned doing all this thing is there are so many historical forts in this state that I can name 2. You know, Fort Washita, which is down by, I can't even think of the lake right now, but it's the largest lake down on the border. Then you have Fort Reno up here just west of El Reno itself, and that was pretty good. It was what they call a remount station, and I didn't know it, but during President Kennedy's funeral procession, some of the horses that were in that came from Fort Reno. I mean, there's more than just the history of, say, the Old West and everything of the 1880s. There are things that even go up into World War I and World War II that I hope people would like to look these things and see what they are and find more about our state.
I encourage everybody to do yourselves a favor. Go ahead and get your devices and like Indian Territory Regulators on Facebook, and you'll learn about what the Indian Territory Regulators do. And Mr. Selby is going to be back on the show to talk about more historical things going on in the state of Oklahoma that you did not cover in your classroom books. And I've learned quite a bit today just talking to you for this short amount of time. And Selby, I want to thank you very much for being on True Grit and Red Dirt Country, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Well, I look forward to talking to you. So I want everybody to have a good day, and y'all be safe out there.
Well, all right, then we're going to take another break, and we're going to check out some good music from Miranda Lambert and also some Coulter Wall. We'll be right back. You're listening to True Grit, Red Dirt Country, right here on 98.7, the Red Dirt Rebel.
Wade Hayes in concert. Outdoors at Legends Event Park. Friday night, June 4th, Chickasha eats up with the one and only Wade Hayes. Plus, in the same night, Ricochet. You get it all for one ticket. Available at Ticket Store. Friday, June 4th. Brought to you by Legends Pub House and Venue.
How long has it taken me to find you? 500 each and every tear washed out to sea. There ain't no goodbye with your hand in mine. Meet me underneath the Oklahoma sky. Oklahoma sky.
Not quite sure if there's any more tickets available, but I hear a rumor mill saying that there may still be a few left for Miranda Lambert in concert, Billy Bob's Texas, on the big stage, doing her thing April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. For more information, check it out at billybobstexas.com.
To the town of Fairfield, oh, the stranger one finally. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one there to ask his business, no one there to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. A big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip. The big iron on his hip. In this town and lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men that tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain, folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men that tried to take him, 20 men that made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Well, the morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 11 when they walked out in the street. dead. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the Ranger is still talked about today. Texas red and not clear leather for a bullet fairly ripped. And the Ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. The big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and folks had gathered around. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron, when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. The big iron on his hip.
It's a good night for angels. I can feel it in my bones. The wind's out of the east, and there's a storm coming on. Ice is on the windows, but that don't mean a thing. I can feel you with me in this old house again. You come to me in dreams from time to time. You don't say much, you just sparkle and shine. That dream always ends with the early morning light. And you leave me with pennies and feathers and dimes. This old house ain't the same ever since you've been gone. The days keep getting colder and the night seems so long. But through it all I remember that fire in your eyes. And in my mind, I fall asleep again with you tonight. You come to me in dreams from time to time. You don't say much, you just sparkle and shine. But that dream always ends with the early morning light. And you leave me with pennies and feathers and dimes. But that dream always ends with the early morning light. Then you leave me with pennies and feathers and dimes. Yes, you leave me with pennies, feathers and